What is going on, Smashers, and welcome to a brand new video. In this week's edition, I'm doing a very special collaboration with another UK Amazon FBAer named Darren Lynch. Now, Darren posts very similar content to me on his YouTube channel, all the best tips, tricks and tutorials for Amazon. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to get together so we could provide you guys with even more value. Now, in this video, what we're going to be doing is talking about the most commonly made mistakes that we think are made by people that are new to the Amazon FBA world. So you really don't want to miss this one. And make sure you stick around to the end because we've got quite a funny outtake. Now, this is the first in a two-part series. The second part is going to be on Darren's channel, posted from tomorrow. And that's talking about common myths of Amazon FBA. So make sure you head over to Darren's channel to check that out as well. Now, last week I did a gift card giveaway. The very special winner was, so make sure you contact me on Facebook or by email to claim your prize. Now, if you enjoy the collaboration I've done this week or anything else on the channel, let me know in the comment section below, and let's get into the video. Okay guys, so welcome back. So in this video today, we have got a very special treat. We've got a UK Amazon FBAer, Darren Lynch, collabing with me. Darren, do you want to give a quick introduction?
Sure, thanks for the intro, Jansen. Yeah, I've been selling on FBA since September last year. First found out about it about a year ago. Like most of you guys, have taken way too long to take the initial action, so I didn't actually place my first order till kind of July time. Recently launched my second product, which is going really well. Just surpassed the £10,000 turnover in 30 days. So
Smashed it.
Can I call myself a five-figure seller now?
Yeah.
or mate, actually no. What's that? That's 120k per year. Maybe I can say I'm a six-figure seller.
Six-figure seller.
That's what we do right in the FBA world. Six-figure seller. So yeah, started selling about the same time as Jansen. We've been in touch since we both started selling. You've probably seen us commenting on each other's videos. Yeah, so we thought we'd do a collab because our subscriber bases are quite similar, and hopefully you guys will find value in what we're saying between us.
So today we thought we'd have a discussion about beginner mistakes. So typical mistakes that we've made when we very first started on Amazon, and mistakes that we often find that people who are new to the Amazon world make quite frequently. So the first one that we're going to discuss is about hidden fees and costs. Now, this is something that both Darren and I have got a bit of experience in forgetting about certain fees to include. So for example, when I first launched my product, I didn't actually realize that the Amazon fees that they quote you on the FBA calculator don't include VAT. I think, is that something that you made as well, Darren?
Yeah, I had exactly the same issue. I mean, I think it's actually, can we blame Amazon for this? If they,
I think it's a bit sneaky, isn't it?
It is. You know, they're publicly available FBA calculator. You can put in an ASIN of a competitor, and it tells you the referral fees and the fulfillment fees. And yeah, the VAT isn't included. So you think, okay, well, this is going to cost me £6, or Amazon are going to charge me £6 for selling this.
Yeah.
Then you start selling the product, and then within the Seller Central, they say £6 plus tax, and all of a sudden your £6 has jumped to £7.20, and you've taken a hit on your fees. And that doesn't just apply to the fulfillment fees with Amazon; it applies to all Amazon fees. So that's PPC, discount codes, coupons, the whole lot. So just think
the pay-per-click one as well, I think, is especially naughty of Amazon, because you say to them what you want your daily budget to be.
Yeah.
So initially when I first started, I was like, okay, I put in £20, that's all I want to spend. And then when you get your invoice through, you see that it includes an additional £4.
Surprise.
And then you're thinking, well, what else are they hiding? So there's VAT. And then in addition to that, another hidden fee is when you get a refund. I'm not sure if you've had too many, Darren. Unfortunately, I've had quite a few.
I've had a few. I try to ignore them though.
Yeah. So every time you get a refund from a customer, it doesn't matter what the reason is, whether the item was faulty or the customer just changed their mind, we have to incur like a refund administration fee. And then if the product is damaged, which I suppose is more fair enough, you have to pay for the return postage. So these are all additional fees that really need to be thought of and kind of factored into your profitability calculators, profitability figures. And that's why when I'm talking about what profit margin you should be aiming for with the product, I think that you should be looking at minimum 30%. Any lower, and you'll find that after VAT and all these hidden charges, the level of profitability is just so small that it's not quite worth doing.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think for me, the 30% threshold, that's always the target. Even with the fees we are aware of now, I'm sure there's going to be other fees that we still haven't come across with Amazon. So yeah, that 30% threshold for anyone looking at the product, looking at launching it, ensure you're above that. Especially because you're going to be launching, remember, you're not going to be VAT registered when you launch. So if you're at 30% when you do launch, when you become VAT registered down the line, that's going to drop down to more like 25% or around that sort of area. So make sure you're at 30%, preferably a little bit higher.
Okay, so the second one is rushing product research and thinking that the Amazon ship's about to sail, and not properly thinking through whether the product that you're looking to do is actually going to be profitable or not.
Yeah, completely. I mean, when I found my first product, you think finally, after 2-3 weeks of searching, this is the one. I'm going to launch this product, and everything is telling you, let's just do this. Let's just go. And with my product, I was adamant I was going to launch it. I spent a fortune on samples, and just before I placed that order, I sat down and looked at the seasonality closely, and realised actually by the time my product turns up, I've maybe going to have 4 weeks left of the seasonal window. So when I should have known this, well, I did know this weeks beforehand, but I was such in a rush. I wanted to get on the train. So at the very last minute, I changed my mind, and wasted weeks on that product and had to launch a different product. So that was, yeah, for me, rushing. That almost gave me a seasonal product at the wrong time.
Yeah, but I bet you're glad that you actually took a step back and
Oh,
actually
definitely. I mean,
thought
my
about it.
products, yeah, the products I've launched now doesn't seem to be seasonal. Touch wood, it's been selling for 6 months consistently, or coming up 6 months consistently. And all of the BSR checks I've done on competitor products seem to be fairly level all year round.
Yeah, and I'm the exact same as well. In fact, when I very first started Amazon, I found a product and I got that kind of emotionally attached to the idea of getting involved in Amazon as soon as possible. I didn't really take a step back and properly think about whether the product would be that profitable or any good. And luckily, as soon as I got the sample through, I kind of had a bit of a moment where I thought, actually, I don't think this product is the one. And I'm so glad that I finally thought that and didn't just think I need to get into Amazon as soon as possible, because had I gone with that product, my sales would have been awful. Like I've since like revisited that product niche and seen that
Sure.
the sales just aren't there anymore. And I think it was a bit of a product that was in a bit of a trend. So definitely, guys, you need to just take your time. Remember, this is a real business, and Rome wasn't built in a day. And just make sure that you're really confident that this is the product that is going to be the one that allows you to smash it.
Probably one of the corners I cut in the early days is I was reluctant to spend on software, some of the tools we needed. I think the only tool I used for my whole launch period was the Jungle Scout sales estimator. And that was the only tool, or the Chrome extension, and was the only tool I used for the first 6-7 months. So when I launched my first products, the keyword data, I was just guessing. I was looking at other products. Oh, they all had the same sort of title, so that must be a good keyword. So thankfully it worked out, but the keyword data was there at the time to be purchased, and I didn't buy that. So that was cutting a corner, which I think £30 a month you could get that data now.
Yeah,
And that was a corner I cut, and I should never have cut that corner. Despite
yeah.
the fact it works out okay, don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to get the stuff that you really need in
Yeah,
the early
yeah.
days.
That's just reminded me actually of a similar scenario for me. So for my first product, I was debating getting box art made, and I found a designer on Fiverr, and they said we can make you a really good piece of box art for £100. And I thought £100, that is far too expensive. Definitely don't want to do that. Max I want to spend is a fiver.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought about it for a couple of days, and I thought, actually, this guy looks like he can probably put together something quite well designed. So I paid the £100, and honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions I've made apart from finding my product. That £100, just to put it in perspective, has allowed me to, well, just to put it into perspective, I've generated now nearly £80,000 worth of revenue off one product in
It's
six
crazy.
months. So, and you just think that £100 relative to the 80,000 is nothing. And the reason that I kind of place so much importance on the box art is it's allowed me to say on my listing that my product comes with a gift box, and this makes the perfect present. It comes in a really nice piece of packaging that's well designed, and I've had a lot of reviews actually that comment and say came in a really nice box. So thinking about that now makes me realise just like how I shouldn't have been worried about spending a tiny amount relative
Sure.
to my total revenue.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with photography. My first couple of products I spent, I think it's about £400 per photo shoot for the first two products, and I got fantastic photography. For my third product, I tried an online service, which was £99 for 6 images, because it's a very simple product. It didn't need lifestyle shots, and I thought, why not?
Yeah.
And they're terrible. And I think I mentioned in my last video that I actually published on the channel that I've got stock that has arrived at Amazon, and I can't launch the product yet because my photography wasn't up to scratch. So I've got a shoot taking place this week. So hopefully I can then launch the product properly. So it sounded good, it sounded cheap, but in the long run, it's £99 wasted, and I'm going to spend the same as I would usually spend anyway.
Yeah. So lesson is don't cut corners.
Don't cut corners, don't cut costs as well.
The next one, it'll be interesting to have a debate here. So Darren thought buying a course or spending too much on courses is a beginner mistake. Now, I took a course and Darren didn't take a course, but we're in very similar positions. So the position that I would take here is the reason that I took a course was because I worked quite long hours in the week, and at the weekend I just found that I didn't have, or I wasn't spending the right amount of time on Amazon to be able to learn about it. So I decided to take the course because it was all there, all the information was there. I wasn't at risk of like missing any key information out, and best of all, it came with a mentor, which I thought would be really good if I ever had a question or if I ever was like stuck at something. I would able to email my mentor and get a response, back very quickly. And that's something that I feel really helped me in my journey. But you, Darren, so you didn't do a course, did you?
No, I didn't. I did purchase a course, but I think you've touched on the issue there. Um, for me, it's not so much about the course. The value of any course is access to a good mentor. Obviously, you had access to a great mentor who's really helped you through the process. My mentor was very much yes, no, yes, no. Some of you guys have been there. One-word answers from the mentor. The
Yeah,
course itself, and I think a lot of courses are like this, seem to have been kind of a rehash of their channel. So their actual channel was quite good. So when I purchased the course, I was expecting more, but really it was just the same content structured better, and then supposedly unlimited mentor access, and that didn't
yeah,
really happen. So I'm not saying that courses are a bad thing if you can find the right course for you, especially if you can find one focused on your country. I bought a course from a Canadian YouTuber because I really liked what they were doing, but it missed out a lot of the nitty gritty for the UK. So if you're selling in the
yeah,
UK and want to buy a course, then definitely find a UK UK FBA
yeah,
that
yeah.
can offer good mentorship. I mean, email them beforehand, see what their response is like, see what sort of replies you get before you make that decision on whether a course is right for you.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. And to be honest, with this point, I'm probably somewhat biased because I'm putting together a course at the minute. And the thing that I'm trying to differentiate myself by is, as you say, really focusing on the UK, getting into the nitty gritty, doing videos on the mistakes that I made that I think are quite easily done. So, really kind of provide that extra value add as well as my mentorship. I mentor quite a few students at the minute within Amazon FBA, and I keep saying to them, anytime you've got a question, no matter what it is, let me know. I'll do a video on it in the course, which you'll have access to, or I'll do a video on YouTube or whatever. And they've really found value from that. So I think, yeah, definitely, if you're going to do a course, make sure that it's being led by somebody that's got that experience, that is open about their Amazon results. So a lot of YouTube Amazon gurus don't ever actually show their results, which I'm a bit confused by. There's some debate that some of these Amazon gurus don't even sell on Amazon, which is a bit strange. So yeah, with the course, my opinion is I'd say it's worth doing, but do your homework and make sure that you're confident that the person teaching it is going to be a good mentor.
Sure. On the subject of proof, have you got your Seller Central app available to give people a live refresh?
Oh,
Everyone
well,
knows
it's
that.
quite early in the day,
That's all
but
right. Yeah.
let's have a look.
Let's do it. Let's do a double refresh.
So I'm on £180 today, 12 units.
Yeah, I think I'm on 100
Nice.
108 today, so 4 units. So slightly
That's
slow for a Sunday, actually, considering yesterday was 35 units on a Saturday. So that will, I find with Sundays, it dies down midday. And then from kind of 3, 4 p.m., everyone gets back from their days out and it just goes crazy for like 2, 3 hours. That's been my experience. I don't know what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
found.
similar actually. I think Friday's normally very quiet. I mean, it's very unlikely that somebody on a Friday night is browsing Amazon for my product and buying it in
Sure.
bulk.
Yeah,
Saturday is better, and then Sunday's the best for me. And I think
sure.
it's
Yeah, I think a lot of
probably
people say that.
my audience are at home and they're, just on Amazon and
Yeah,
loving my
definitely.
product.
That's it. Yeah, I've got a bit of a confession on this. I don't have any experience because I didn't check any of my first 3 products. And so that is a complete newbie mistake and something I need to stop doing. I've just been very lucky and assumed that the products were safe and the categories were okay. But I understand you've got a bit more experience in this sector, yeah, Jansen.
Yeah, so for my very first product, I kind of was a bit too cautious, I suppose. So I was launching in like the health and beauty area, and the course that I was taking said health and beauty is gated, and the only way of getting past it is by purchasing products within health and beauty in wholesale from like a company like Booker or another wholesaler. You need to spend at least £80, say. You need to buy 10 items and you need to send your invoices to Amazon. So I thought, well, I can do that easily. I can, drive down to Booker and I can buy whatever and get these invoices. And my thinking was, if I launch into a gated category, it's going to be way less competitive. So I was very keen to do it. So I think in the end, I found a wholesaler online and I bought, I think, 20 tubes of toothpaste and about 30 bottles of shower gel. And I had to do that because it had like a minimum order. And then on top of that, postage was 40 quid. So I spent about £100 on toothpaste and shower gel. So anyway, I got it all through. I logged on, I registered for Amazon Seller Central, tried to list my product, listed it, there was it wasn't gated. And I thought, this is strange. So I messaged Amazon Seller Central and said, this is gated, here's my invoice. And they basically replied and said, no, that category is no longer gated. So I've probably got about 10 tubes of toothpaste left and about 10 bottles of shower gel. But I've
Some
still,
clean teeth.
yes, so I was a bit too cautious there. But what I should have done is just try to list it first and then see what happens. Because as soon as you list, you'll either be told if it's gated or not. And if it's not gated, you should wait a few more days and then you'll be told if it's restricted or not. So my second product that I'm going to be launching hopefully in the coming weeks, I listed it, there was no issues. And then 5 days later, I got an email saying this is restricted product and took it off. So imagine how much trouble I would have been in had I placed a huge order with my supplier,
Sure, yeah.
um, for like thousands and thousands of pounds, and then got told that the item was restricted. So it's really important that as soon as you've got, and Darren's been bad here, as soon as you've got a product idea or a niche, before you order the sample or anything, you need to try and list it on Amazon Seller Central. And then I'd say wait a week and then log back in and see if it says suppressed or if you get a notification from seller performance. And if it does, then you can decide whether you want to try and get ungated or unrestricted or find a different product.
Yeah, definitely. Don't leave it to chance. And I will definitely be following Jansen's advice for my next products, definitely. Yeah, I think this goes back to the course that I purchased. Is that the mentor or the teacher of the course was pretty much of the opinion you cannot succeed on Amazon in 2018, 2019 if you're not bundling. So what happened with the products that I was researching, all I was looking for was a product that I could then bundle. But what I realized after doing that for quite a few weeks is I could offer more value to the customer by improving the product rather than just bundling something for the sake of bundling, because that is what I'd been taught and been led to believe.
Mm.
I mean, actually, with my first 2 products, I haven't really bundled the item so much as I've made sure that the packaging is reusable. So the package, my products come in a bag which is reusable. So they kind of get a bundle as such, even though for me it was, well, I was gonna package this product anyway, so I've just packaged it in
Yeah.
such a way that they seem like they're getting a bundle item from it.
I'd say, yeah, for me, the important thing is that you differentiate. You have something different, something that appeals to the customer versus other listings, and whether that be by bundling or improving the product or changing the color or having a better listing. I mean, do you feel that you were able to differentiate your listing to others other than without bundling?
Yeah. Once I realised actually stop focusing on bundling and start focusing on the issue. So you've probably all heard this. Look at the negative reviews. That's where most ideas will come from. You can see where the pain points are. Once I started focusing there, I realised actually, do you know what? You can compete in almost any niche because most niches have room for improvement. And if you can bring a product to the market, even if you're more expensive, if you're offering more value, you can compete in, I would say, almost any niche.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more difficult to launch in certain niches over others, but I think that's where a lot of people skip over products because they think the niche has to be perfect when actually it's a case of making sure your product stands out in that niche, and that is how you'll succeed there.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you're a big fan of Helium 10. Have you
Yes.
used the negative review tool?
No,
So
I haven't actually.
it's
I should.
very good.
I should
So
really.
what you do
There's so
is
many
you
tools in that suite. I should really try them all
yeah,
out. It's just I've been
it's
using the
insane.
core ones for launch.
Yeah, no, the value you get is insane. But so essentially, what you do, you plug in a competitor's ASIN into this tool, and then it goes through all of the negative reviews and it picks up what are the most commonly used words. So if somebody, repeatedly said, I don't know, very flimsy or stop working after a week or whatever, just ideas that came to my mind there. But it's really good at being able to instantly, in about 30 seconds, just see what, as you say, are the major like pinch points. What are the things that customers are complaining most about? And
Yeah.
then you can just look at that and immediately you're like, okay, let's go back to the supplier and see if we can make sure that we nail it so the product doesn't have those faults.
Yeah, I've had this before. People have contacted me through my channel saying I found a great product, and the sales are insane. Selling like 100 units a day, and then I go back to them and say, "Well, what's your budget?" And they might have a £2,000 or £3,000 budget, and then they don't align. I mean, if you're going to be selling 100 units of something a day, that's 3,000 units per month. Can you afford to
Yeah,
purchase a couple of months of stock, and then while they're selling, then order your second batch because you won't get all of your money back before you place your second order of stock. So sometimes the highest demand opportunities aren't the best opportunity for you, depending on your individual circumstances and the budget that you've got.
cool. All right. I don't have another point to add to
That's all
that.
right.
Now, this is something that I can see is very easy to do, especially if you're trying to find that product that ticks all the boxes. But my experience, especially with my first product, and what I would say is you're never going to find the perfect product that ticks all the boxes. It's all about finding a product that you're confident in, that you think that you can differentiate and offer something to the customer that they can't already get. And that's the sort of product that you need to take action rather than just constantly thinking, I've got a really good product here, but this isn't quite right, so I'm not going to launch it. I'm going to park it and find another product.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think a lot of that comes down to as well is that the common guru teachings, so to speak, that they're teaching very hard and strict criterias. Don't launch in a niche where people have got more than 100 reviews, or don't
Yeah,
launch in a niche where people are selling for less than £20 or it weighs more than a kilo. And I think all of that together, people feel as if they get pinned in such a small sector of products they're looking through, and it's very difficult to make that decision. Like I've seen your product, I'm going to show you mine after this video. Um, our products couldn't be more different. So
yeah,
don't, and also with regards to competition, don't get hung up on competition. We're both in very competitive niches with people with
yeah,
3-figure reviews and stuff like that. And it's about making sure your product stands out. But in terms of, I know it sounds like we're contradicting our earlier points where we're saying don't rush, don't cut corners. But by rushing and cutting corners, it actually stops you from taking action sooner. So, for example, with me getting hung up on my product that was seasonal but was adamant about launching it, that stopped me from actually taking action because I wanted to launch a product that I'd rushed. Whereas if I'd have taken a bit more time initially saved me time in the long run. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's just about finding a product that's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But yeah, as Darren said, it's neither of our products are absolutely perfect. It's just about differentiating, doing something that you think the customer will really like, and making yourself stand out that way. So that's it for this week, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this collaboration. If you have liked it, do post a comment in the comment section below. And make sure you visit Darren's channel. There's a lot of high quality content on there. He posts a lot of really good like tutorials and videos on his Amazon journey. So make sure you check it out. And as always, if you enjoyed this video or anything else on the channel, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jansen. Just a quick point. There's also going to be part 2 of this video over on our channel where we're going to be myth busting some of the common FBA myths together.
I think it's just about finding a product that's like a 7 or 8 out of 10 as opposed to a 10 out of 10.
It's like picking a wife.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Just making
to cut that.
the